Only we humans make waste that nature can't digest. A quote by Charles Moore. When I say the word ocean, what comes up first in your mind? Maybe a place to do a lot of different things like surfing, swimming, hanging out with friends and family, etc. I think the ocean is such a great place because you get to learn a lot because there's a lot you can learn about the ocean. One thing that I like about the ocean is how many different species of plants and fishes there are. But there's one specific plant that took my curiosity. It's the plant mangrove. Mangrove can survive both in land and salt water. Many land and sea creatures depend on mangrove for shelter, protection, and food. For example, birds like pelicans use the top of the mangrove tree for their nest, and tiny sea creatures like fishes use the root of the mangrove for protection from danger. Not only it benefits the animals, it also benefits us. Mangrove can reduce the damage that is caused by a big wave or a tsunami on land. There are a lot of mangrove species all over the globe, but Indonesia holds the record for having the most mangrove species and the biggest mangrove forest in the world. Around 45 species of mangrove are found in Indonesia, and around 3 million hectares of mangrove forest grows along the 95 kilometers of Indonesian coastlines. The common species of mangrove are mangroves, red mangroves, and white mangroves, or in Indonesian they call it api-api putih. Each of these species have their unique style of living. Sorry. For example, red mangrove have prot roots, a root that emerge from the trunk and penetrate the soil to give the plant extra support. Meanwhile, black mangrove is a subtropical woody shrub. It lives in salt marshes. Black mangrove have a breather root that collects silt and debris. It helps control erosion. Whitefire mangrove earned the name whitefire because the back of the leaf is colored white. It's because of salt crystals. These salt crystals are made from the leaf itself. The leaf filters as much of salt as possible from the water, giving the plant the water it needs to survive and turning the salt into salt crystals. And the fruit of the white fire mangrove can grow by itself whenever it hits the ground. Mangroves are a very unique plant. You can say they're survivors. Their roots submerge underwater, then thrive the muddy, hot, and salty condition, which will kill most plants. They have, so how can they survive? They have complex roots which keep them upright from shifting sediments where water and land meets. They have a filtration system which keeps out as much salt as possible, and some species of mangroves use their leaves to filter salt, just like the white mangrove. Red mangrove has adapted to waterlogging and salt water. As they grow on dense root called prot root, the root excrete salt from the filter inside their roots. They also can store salt in older leaves and thick barks. Red mangrove roots have lenticle or porous tissues for them to catch air during low tides. So this is my project. As you can see, it's a diorama. It's a diorama about mangroves. And here it shows how mangrove forest looks like. I picked to do a diorama because it's easier for people to understand and easier for me to explain what mangroves is. During my quest, during my quest, um, during my quest project, um, I explored a few places in Bali where I learned a lot about mangroves. One of the places is near the airport, called the Kampung Kepiting or Crab Village. They take of mangroves. They take care of mangroves. The head of the village decided to take care of the mangrove forest when he was just a young boy. In that village, you can do multiple things, like helping the sailors pick up trash from the ocean, rowing the boat around the mangrove forest, and even catch your own crab to eat it in the restaurant. You can also help them plant baby mangroves sometimes. Not only I did make a diorama to show you what a mangrove forest looks like, but the point of this quest project is to explain how mangrove works in the ecosystem and how important it is to keep them safe. From my experiences, uh, from my experiences exploring the mangrove forest, I realized how important mangrove is to the ecosystem. So, without mangrove, most of the tiny sea creatures will go extinct, just like the mud skipper. Have you heard of a fish that lives a majority of its life above water? Because there is. The mud skipper. The mud skipper store water in their mouth, gill chambers, and keeping their skin slightly wet so they can breathe air through their skins. They also use their pectoral or chest fins to climb trees. Fun fact, don't you know that, sorry, fun fact, don't you know that small mangrove forest soaks up to 10 times more carbon than a normal sized forest? A single mangrove tree can take away 1.5, 1.4, 1,450 pounds of carbon each year. Meanwhile, a normal tree can only suck up until 48 pounds, only 48 pounds each year. We can help by taking care of mangroves. Mangroves can clean polluted water using their roots, but they can't do it all alone. We created things that nature can't digest. And, and by creating those things, we mindlessly throwing them into river, ocean, and the land, causing a big trouble. We are the main factor of global warming, and we must stop. We need to make the world a better place. By doing my quest project, I hope everyone will know more about mangroves and the benefits of its in the ecosystem. This quest project is made possible because of my supporters. With that being said, I want to thank my quest mentors for helping me throughout my quest journey. I want to thank my family and friends for being there to support me and helping me as much as possible. Last but not least, Pa Agus, the head of the head of the crab village, or Kampung Kapiting, for teaching me a lot about mangroves and showing me around the village. Thank you.